Is it really that time already? Oh my goodness, another episode of The Person Behind the Pen. I have no idea where this Tuesday to Tuesday week flew by, but it certainly did for me. So tell me in the comments, how are you? Where you tuning in from? What is the weather like? I am East End, Long Island, and freezing. And how has it been since last I saw you, last Tuesday? Oh, we have such a wonderful guest with us today. This gentleman I have been friends with, I want to say, definitely over 3 years now. Um, and we have just been such a support to each other. And there are times when months would go by where we have not spoken in DM. And no, it doesn't mean we support every single post from each other either. But Timothy pays attention. He seems to know when I'm publishing a book, and he will show up to buy that book. Just as I know twice a year when he is doing his fundraisers and guiding brilliant writers will always pop in to help out in whichever way we can. I think reciprocity is necessary, but it should be a word where we give. We give because we want to. We don't give hoping to get in return. But when we do receive in return, it is a beautiful circle. So I want to welcome everyone coming in. I want to say thank you on the comment from William regarding the intro videos. My big brother Aaron Gibson has trained me well. After hanging on to his coattails for a few years, I'm now able to do a little teeny bit by myself. And I love learning. And I think if you've been following my journey here on LinkedIn for the last 3 years, you would see that I'm somebody that is always pushing myself to learn something new. So before I bring our guest up, I'm going to say hi to you guys in the comments, starting with Coach Carrie. It is so wonderful to have you join us. Thank you so much. Coach Carrie is a new friend, and I've recently started attending her shows. So please look out for her live shows. And I see my dear Leslie's over on YouTube. Smart move, as well as my friend Michaela, who was one of the co-authors in Pageants, Pride and Prejudice. We have been having a little bit of issues lately with LinkedIn, so certainly run over to YouTube if you are running into problems. William, hello again. And why am I even calling you William? Hello, Bill. Stephen Ang, my neighbor out there in New York. I will be seeing Stephen shortly, which gives me the perfect segue into Transformation Kitchen's inaugural charitable cookbook that I am currently working on with Jason Forehand, the founder of HR4U, Jerry Ryan, and Derek Stroken. We are going to be publishing this cookbook soon. It is coming to a kitchen near you. And with your purchase, every single penny goes toward the Transformation Kitchen project, and all the food that comes out of that kitchen goes toward ending food insecurity. So keep an eye out for that. That is coming soon. All right. Oh my goodness. I have to make sure I say hi to everyone. Hello, Willie J in the house. Listen, if you don't know this dude and you don't know what's blowing up right now with him, run over to his profile. He is number one, hitting the charts. He's got music going. He's got books going. He is just the guy that you want to know. All right. It looks like I caught everyone for now. I will circle back around for when others pop in. Well, I almost caught everyone because someone just snuck in, and that would be Melissa Cohen. It's so wonderful to have you here, Melissa. Thank you for popping in. And Kenny D in the house. All right. So I do want to share a couple more things before we bring Timothy up. We Choose to Be More Than Our Diagnoses, Volume 2. That is launching May 31st, and the co-author's call ends February 28th. So if you're interested in joining, please make sure you reach out to me. As always, Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing offers a $50 discount for new writers with us, and a year after the book publishes, as like with Timothy, you can come back on here and read your chapter live. Okay, enough on my part. Let us get our guest up here. Please help me welcome to the stage my Aussie Bro, Timothy Gleeson.
Hey Nicole, hey everybody. Thanks for joining this talk. I have moved heaven and earth this morning. I woke up at 4:40 a.m. to jump in the car to go to Urban Surf, which is in Olympic Park, which is an hour's drive away. So that surf session was from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And then I've had to beat the peak hour morning traffic to get back into the office just to be here on time. So I think I got back into the office about 5 minutes to 10 o'clock. Like I believe it's 6 p.m. in New York there. So various time zones across the world. It's absolutely crazy. I was supposed to have an annual leave day today, but my boss got called out elsewhere, and so I said, okay, if you let me surf my session this morning, I'll try and get into the office as close to 9 as possible. So he was happy with that. So here I am. So I've had to park the car like 25 minutes away, sprint to get here. So I'm sweating. I've just had the most insane surfing session in my life. Just wait till you see some of these wipeouts and some of these barrels that I made. It is just,
oh my goodness,
it is absolutely insanely good, and it fills my heart because I've surfed all my life, and it's the one thing that apart from my family that brings me the greatest happiness. So I'm really ecstatic that I'm here with Nick reading my chapter. I actually read my chapter last night, and I'm just thinking, I wrote that, just wow. And it's like I'm living my purpose. I am absolutely communicating what I wrote in my chapter, in my posts that I'm posting. I'm concentrating on a donation drive for Surfebruary and Chris O'Brien Lifehouse. Basically, what happened was that two surfers' wives had cancer diagnosis. They were treated successfully at Chris O'Brien Lifehouse, and so what these founders did was, hey, let's do something for Chris O'Brien Lifehouse. Let's surf every day in February and request donations for the Chris O'Brien Lifehouse. And so I think so there are surfers all across Australia, potentially in other countries as well. I mean, why limit it to Australia? And so we surf every day during February, and we share photos, stories. I've posted a video of my surfing that I think Nick shared. It's nothing compared to what I surfed today. And I've got another 3 sessions of this wave that I surf. It is just incredible. You look at it and you go, oh my God, that is just insane. And it is
insane.
It is, and it just brings me, and look, it's a dangerous sport. You can get injured. I think I'll post on Friday my biggest wipeout, which is just, it's just, I got ragdolled into the concrete. How I didn't, hit the concrete floor, because it's only like 3 foot deep. So, and a wave with a face of, 5 to 6 feet with water just going everywhere is it's just amazing.
So it's wonderful. You're going to post this on Friday, so all of us could go into the weekend traumatized.
Yeah.
Just teasing you, because I have to say, I've seen some of the videos, and in fact, I've seen some of the pictures, and I am just so blown away, because it's like when you see these photos in sports magazines and stuff like that, I'm like, oh my God, I know a dude that actually does this. And I've shown my husband some of your photos, like, I don't know what you call it, but like when you're on the inside part of the wave.
Yeah. It's called either a barrel or a tube. And this wave today was specifically to surf behind the tube. So you'll actually see water in front of me. And then sometimes I don't make it. Other times I pop out, with a nice roundhouse cutback, just to finish off the wave. It's
madness. Just madness. I can't even imagine being in the curve of this ginormous wave, and if you don't get out of the way, you are going to get pummeled. I mean, you're speaking about a girl from Trinidad, the islands, who really can't swim very well, Uh, so that doesn't bode well with me. But I want to thank you for, you've been up early, you've been out surfing, you are in your office doing this.
Mm.
Um, so on the East Coast, I get to relax after, go have some dinner. You have to go into a day in the office. So thank you for taking this time to come on and read your chapter from A Note to My Family. I Am Your Legacy. This, folks, was the book that started the entire Legacy Chronicles. When this book was published, there was not an expectation that a second would be done, and now a third. So the third Legacy Chronicles, A Letter to My Family, launched December of 2025. And how wonderful it is that we have one of the writers in the flagship book here to join us and to share with us all that has happened in his life since then. And he said he read his chapter back again today. And sometimes when you write and publish, you put that book down for a good little while. And for him to pick it back up and say, I am continuing to build on that legacy that I wrote a couple of years ago, just tells you how writing can reinforce what you had been living, what you are living, and what else you want to put into your legacy as you move forward. So, Timothy, I am going to kick off by reading the introduction, and then
Okay.
we're going to go into your chapter. So there's a reason I want to read this introduction to you guys. I know that there are many people out there who have considered writing and sharing their story, but they're nervous for many reasons and all validated. However, this was the very first book I worked on. So when this introduction was written, I was definitely a green writer. So I wouldn't say that I'm a gold writer today yet, but I do want to share this because I want you to know that everyone starts somewhere. And that means that you can start as well. Okay. The right words, when strung together with an intention, have the power to evoke whichever emotions you wish to bring forth in the reader. We are born. We live our lives. We die. None of us are exempt from this cycle. We are given the precious gift of life. We work hard to make something of it. We leave this world a better place for having been here, and our spirits forever live on to guide our future generations. Choose how you spin your words very carefully. They have the power to make or break the people around you. We all have our crosses to bear and loved ones we hold dear. This anthology holds the treasured moments of both the good and the bad in the lives of 21 authors from around the globe: South Africa, Australia, Canada, Switzerland, and the USA. People of different ethnicities, people raised in different cultures, people who, through life's ups and downs, have learned that growing personally can sometimes be painful but necessary. In their stories, we learn many lessons of loving and being loved, of hurting and being hurt, of what it means to be human. In this book, the word legacy takes on a very different meaning to each of the authors. Perhaps you will identify with one of them or all of them. Perhaps you won't identify with any of them. What will resonate with you, however, as you read these legacies are the heartfelt sentiments of each writer's perspective on life and the way that their lives played out and continues to play out on this grand stage that we all share. I promise you that when you finish reading the stories in this anthology, you will ask yourself this question: what is the legacy that I leave behind? And so I want to thank Timothy for stepping up and being one of the first people to put his legacy out there in print with Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing House.
Just to complement what you're saying, and for anyone who is considering becoming a writer, please just do it. Just jump over the falls and say, okay, I'm doing this. Because once you set a goal, your body then reacts to work out how you're going to do it. So
Very true.
just don't be afraid. It's an amazing process. There's background help in terms of helping you communicate better the words that you're trying to convey. And then when you've done it, it's like, oh my God, I'm actually a published writer, and it's mind bending. It is like you're following this shadow of who you are, and to actually communicate in words what you're trying to convey, your purpose, your values. It's an amazing process, and you begin to understand yourself better, and it actually improves and upgrades your communication, and most of all, you have a higher esteemed value of yourself.
That is so very true. It is a life-changing experience, not just for yourself personally, but it can also help you professionally. And oftentimes, we think that they are separate, and they're not. They're quite intertwined. So this growth through writing can assist you as well to grow in your profession. So thank you for sharing that, Timothy. Please, whenever you're ready, if you need to take a sip of water, go right ahead. But we are so ready to hear your story.
Okay, I'm good. Let's go. Okay. To my beautiful sons, Ben and Chris, and all descendants, this is a part of my legacy. I write this while I'm still here with you. It describes a few events that shaped my life, which formed my values and purpose. Nothing is guaranteed, and the world owes you nothing. Be brave, be adventurous, but also be careful and own the decisions you make. With age comes experience, and with experience comes wisdom. It's been 40 years since leaving high school, and here is a little something about my journey. My greatest achievement is raising the two of you with your mother, witnessing you both turn into the most amazing individuals, now leading independent lives. In the blink of an eye, we are now empty nesters. That unconditional love from you is one of the greatest feelings I have ever experienced. Having the opportunity of imparting our values and then see you figure it out yourselves and applying it to your own lives is amazing. You have the benefit of being raised with two cultures, and nothing makes me happier knowing that you embrace the Australian and Chinese cultures equally as part of your person. Our self-belief is our greatest asset, and we can reach a greater potential by visualizing our dreams and following them through with practical application. Seeking external validation may help guide you, but it is your personal ambition and drive that determine your success. Never give up. If you find your journey difficult, then find that side door or alleyway that will get you there. Perseverance and persistence are admirable qualities that will bring satisfaction to your self-worth. You are braver and smarter than you ever give yourself credit. If I were to describe myself, I would say I'm an introvert, and as such, I hold my dreams close to my heart. I am a hard worker with humility, compassion, and kindness to others. I have a burning desire to succeed with my endeavors and have the mindset of a student open to learning. I wear my heart on my sleeve, which means I show my vulnerability, which is open to being criticized by others. It's not a weakness, but a strength, because I'm saying to the world, this is me. There is no imposter syndrome because I'm living and communicating my values. There are several events that had a great impact on how I see myself in the world. When I was 6 years old, I was hit by a car walking across a pedestrian crossing after getting off the bus to go home. I was thrown forward by the impact, as the driver of the vehicle never saw me on the busy road. I woke from a coma 10 days later, though with no memory of my past. I was recovering in the hospital from my injuries for the next 3 months. By the grace of God, it's a miracle I survived. I have been making deals with God ever since, asking for more time, promising to make a difference. A second chance at life with this burden is what I carry. Being the smallest in my years at school, I was an easy target for being bullied. There was no place to hide. I was also bullied by a family member, and it was difficult to understand why someone could be so cruel. You could say that my self-worth took a beating. The activity that saved my life was my surfing. Surfing soothes my soul. It's an opportunity to face my fears, to surf big waves. It gives me the greatest satisfaction executing smooth and hard edge turns, not to mention getting barreled occasionally behind the face of a wave. It suits me as an introvert because I'm making split set decisions all on my own. In those moments of silence while sitting on my surfboard out the back waiting for the next wave, most solutions to my problems appear in my mind. I hope you can find something that brings you peace and satisfaction like my surfing has done for me. In year 10, I won an inter-school surfing competition in massive surf, showing great courage and skill with no regard for my personal safety while taking significant risks, which gained respect from everyone that witnessed the contest from the beach. I was hailed a hero at school the next day, which was when the bullying stopped as a result of my fearlessness and bravery. In my mid-30s, after working various roles in middle management, in warehousing, logistics, convenience stores, and later self-employed as a taxi driver, I found it next to impossible to obtain a senior management role. So I took a risk giving up full-time work to transfer to full-time education and part-time taxi driving just after we purchased our home. After witnessing a friend's daughter's university degree graduation ceremony, I dreamed of receiving my own university degree. I kept dreaming that same dream every week for the duration of my 5 years of study. Oh, I've lost my part here. Just one moment.
No problem.
Okay, I've got it. Okay. Just dreaming on its own gets you only so far. I applied my dream to practical efforts such as allocating quality time to my learning, celebrating the wins on the way, forming teams and partnerships with other students, and telling myself I was smart and worthy of my achievements. All that positive self-talk was so effective in my progress. Studying 4 days a week, I drove a taxi in 12-hour shifts for those 3 other days. It meant I had to do all of my study, assignments, and readings on study days because I was too tired to concentrate after driving those long shifts. After 2 years, I obtained a business diploma with distinction, followed by another 3 years obtaining a business degree with credit. I was then able to transition to a new career as an accountant specializing in taxation services. Later, I used a similar dream and applied other practical steps by allocating 3 hours each night during the week after work and more time over weekends for 2.5 years to obtain my CPA Australia accreditation. It just goes to show that an ordinary person can achieve extraordinary things if they channel their efforts and visualize their success. With all of this, I recognize my purpose in life is kindness. By this, I mean showing empathy and compassion to others. Kindness is free, and it is an opportunity with our thoughts and actions to make someone else's day better. We are all connected by energy, and you attract the energy where you assign your efforts. Please know that the inner child within you is your closest connection to your soul. Your inner child will remain with you your entire life. So nurture him, play with him, have the greatest fun with him, because it will keep you young and happy. When my father died 17 years ago, I realized that I had been doing many things to please him. But also, I didn't always take his advice. I knew then that I had to take responsibility for all of my decisions. Sure, I miss him. And I want his advice on several matters. I used to ask myself, what would Dad's advice be? It's no longer relevant because the buck stops with me. This is so empowering. So don't worry about what other people think of you. Just think about keeping yourself happy with the decisions that you make. It was the moments when you both came to me explaining that you didn't want to head down the path of an accounting major in your degrees that I realized you were taking control of your future. The most important thing about a working career is to enjoy what you are doing. So be the best you can be and enjoy your journey. One of the superpowers I realized is the power of forgiveness. No doubt you may get taken advantage of and get hurt by the actions of others. Find it in your heart to forgive yourself because it allows you to detach from the emotional hurt to help you move forward. Forgiving the other person, even in the absence of an apology, allows you to take back the control that you gave away. You should also have a side hustle in addition to your full-time job, time permitting. I have made several side hustles, including volunteering and raising donations for worthy causes, allowing me greater experiences. When I help others, I become more aware of how lucky I am with the things that I have. Finally, please know that you are worthy, you are important, and you make a difference. We are so proud of you and we love you. Love, Dad. Woo!
I know it's a lot. And it seems like a lot because you dropped so much in there. But when you consider that you are writing a chapter and you want to pack as much in there as possible of your legacy, to whom you're leaving it for, your future generations. But you took this chapter very, very personally. You wrote it to my sons. And you wrote it, yes, about your values and thoughts and such, but you share many of this with your wife, me. And you refer to you guys as empty nesters at the time that you're writing this.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they had already moved out. And at the end, you share, we love you both. And I especially liked that you did not write your legacy just only from your thoughts, but whether by intention or not, it was inclusive of their mom. Because much of what occurred in your life and as a result affected their lives was because of the partner that you have. So there's so much I want to rip apart in this story. I mean, if you guys have questions in the audience, please put them up. And, I have to touch on a few things that you shared. What you decided at a point in your life when you had just bought your home and you have kids and you have responsibilities, you went for something big. You're speaking about 5 years of your life of juggling finances to make ends meet in order to educate yourself to take a giant step forward. And you share this story with your boys, and throughout it all, you show them that perseverance, tenacity, and that constant visualization of what you want in your life can manifest. So now your boys are how old?
The older one is 33 and the younger one is 28.
Okay, so my only is 28. So I have to ask you, are either married? Do they have children?
Okay, the younger one has got a girlfriend, and I believe they'll get married in the future. And can I just say, okay, that with the younger one, he lives in a different city to us, so totally independent. When I talk to him on the phone every week. And one time we finished, and he said, "I love you, Dad," and I went, "What?" And he said, "I love you," and I said, "I love you too," and I said, do you feel comfortable saying that? And he said, yeah, I do. And I said, isn't that wonderful? I said, can we make a pact then that every time we talk to each other on the phone, we say to each other at the end of the phone call, I love you. And we do. And it's just so empowering. He's 28, not a teenager, not a kid, being told how to act and all that sort of thing. Totally independent, living in a different city and that sort of thing. And we say to each other every single time, I love you. And it's just the most beautiful thing, in our, and it's funny because growing up in a Chinese culture, they rarely tell each other, I love you. They rarely have physical contact. It's I can never hug my sister. I'm able to get a hug from my sister-in-laws. Okay. But that's taken like a long time to, for them to feel comfortable with, with an embrace. In our Australian culture, we tell each other, I love you. You are fantastic. Keep going. We encourage all the time. Okay. I hug both my boys. Okay. I tell both of them that I love them, and I never feel ashamed of that. And when I'm around my Chinese family, it's sort of like, it's just natural instinct to go and give everyone a hug or something like that when you see them. And they're like, they're like a wet fish. They just freeze and go, how do I deal with this? And I'm just saying, it's so, what's the word? It's so disheartening to see that people have been brought up with, a different way, in that, there is a lack of intimacy,
Right.
because when you connect with others with a hug or with a kiss, it means something. It's saying I love you. And yet on I have the greatest respect for all cultures. I love different cultures. I love learning about every single culture in this world. And with the, and it's not a criticism of the Chinese culture, but I just think how terrible that they don't embrace, they don't, that trust of an embrace, to show people, affection that's missing there. So the lives could be, and I know the education, they demonstrate their love by what they do, by what they cook, by how they act. It's just in the absence of, there's hardly ever, I actually love you. And so I, and my wife sometimes gets uncomfortable when she says, don't say that. And I said, no, I'm sorry. I'm saying that. You can react, you can ignore it. You can, sometimes, on the one occasion she might say, I love you. And I went, oh, damn, I missed it. I wish I had it recorded so that I could just play it over and over back to me.
Yeah, I am familiar with that culture to some extent, but, I also was raised in a bicultural household. So I think my mother being Trinidadian and being warm, mixed with my father's somewhat off-putting affection, we kind of grew up in the middle, if you will.
Right.
And so, for example, the reason why I brought up all that you shared in the book with your sons and then asked you, if they were involved with anyone, and married and having kids, is because I was curious to know, did your sons read your chapter? And if they did, what was their reaction when they read it?
Okay, you're gonna be surprised with my response. And being totally honest, they were shocked. They were mortified that I'd actually written this, and this was a published book. Okay,
Oh my!
it was the total opposite reaction of what I had an idea. I had a suspicion that they might not take it well. Okay, because it's like in the absence of you dying, you're writing your own eulogy,
Right.
while we're still alive. And their reaction was, Dad, we know this all about, we know all this about you anyway. Why did you write it? Why did you, Why did you? Why is it published? And I just said, this book is before its time. Okay, it really is emotionally heavy for for family members that read it. As far as as far as my own experience is concerned, and it doesn't worry me. It doesn't worry me because I really wrote it for me. The
I
whole
was going there.
the whole
Going there.
process of the idea of writing your life story that's that's out there for anyone to read. And it was as an introvert, I try not to draw attention to myself, but at the same time that my life journey is has some special moments, such as the studying midlife and changing my career. You know the fact that I've said my purpose in life is kindness, that was a big deal for me to figure through, because the funny thing is that I'm an accountant and tax agent professionally, but on LinkedIn I hardly ever talk about these things, because
I know.
it's country oriented and it's specific. And what happens with clients of ours, you can't really tell a story because you can't identify
That's
them,
confidential.
because everything's in confidence. Yeah,
Yeah. You work in a very
exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I love tax law. I love my job. I really do enjoy doing what I'm doing. It's it's a hard slog. It's different, whereby people set up income streams whereby they are generating income while they're doing other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My job is specific in that I've got to be sitting at a desk at a computer, churning out numbers and reading legislation and applying that to to small business circumstances. It's time charged. So if I'm not working, if I'm not working on something for a client, I'm not earning money.
Right.
I'm only earning money when I'm at the office or at home working on clients' accounts. So
I have a question.
Yep.
That said, because now with 3 Legacy Chronicles, there have been well over 50 writers. And what you expressed doesn't necessarily surprise me, because I've had other writers whose families responded the same way.
Right.
They let's say they thought that their families would love it. Their families were not like thrilled at the fact that they wrote their legacy. And like you say, the book is before its time. But 2 things. One, even in passing down stories that your sons know your story, when they go on to have children, your grandchildren, and your great and great grands, and Timothy is no longer here, right? Life becomes busy. And for the most part, our grandparents, do not talk about our parents to us unless we specifically ask, unless we
Correct.
happen to be sitting at the knee of at a young age while they're up chatting and we catch little things. So this chapter is going to mean something to your future generations.
Absolutely.
When they read this and they now go to question your sons about this part. Oh my, grandpa or great grandpa Timothy almost died at 6. He was in a coma for 10 days.
That's right.
Because it makes you start to think, they're holding this book in their hands 50 years from now. What happens if you never came out of that coma? So, there is so much in writing your legacy. And I love that you shared you wrote it for yourself, because I tell every single writer, you write first for yourself. This is not about selling books. Okay? That's a different part of all of this experience. You write for yourself. You have a desire to become a published author. This is ownership. This is empowerment. This is healing. This is growth. This is taking a step into something that can scare you, but you're going to face it down and say, nope, I'm coming out on the other end. And when you write the name of your chapter and your name, that's it. You own it. And
That's right.
an amazing. Do you have any regrets writing it?
Absolutely not. I'm really proud that I did write it. The craziest thing, when you go to a funeral, you learn so much about the person that died and never knew that they achieved all of these things. It's like,
Yep.
oh wow, it's like the biggest wake up call in terms of aunts, uncles, grandparents, and all that sort of thing. I mean, my grandparents, they were onion farmers in country Victoria. Okay,
Wow,
they
that's
weren't
really
educated. They weren't educated, and my father was the first of he was the first child of 8 children, and he was the first one to go to university. So
oh,
our
that's amazing that you know this stuff. I think that's
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, and my grandfather on my mother's side was a jeweler, and he was an orphan. So he was brought up by, people other than his parents, and then somehow he got into the diamond and gemstone industry and became a jeweler, and had a retail shop in the city in Melbourne that
Mm.
was carried on by by my aunts and uncles. Eventually sold and that sort of thing, but yeah, just staggering how diversified our ancestors are, and what becomes of us. So, and what I did want to say was that maybe when like after I pass, and years have gone by, and my kids then pick up the book, they'll probably change their mind and go, gee, I'm really glad that he wrote that, because there's a few things that I'd forgotten about him, or he's explained his thought process. And so your soul is in this book. Okay, it's a part of you. Okay, and it can't be taken back. So for, as I say, if you're considering becoming a writer through Nicole, uh, uh, which is
Or
the
anyone.
easiest, way, writing in an anthology is the easiest way to get published, because
Started.
you don't have to worry about the process of becoming published, all of that sort of thing. So who knows? Maybe I'll I've written a second anthology with another writer, and I think my goal is later in life is to actually publish my own book. I've got an event, a story that actually happened. I plugged it on LinkedIn a couple of years ago when it happened, and I think it's got the potential of making a great story, for other people to read.
Wonderful, wonderful. Writing an anthology could be a springboard to a lot of things, including opening up your mind to writing a full book. Or for that matter, you might think of writing a full book, do an anthology, and then decide, nope, this is not for me. So we're going to be closing up on time soon. I want to share a comment on screen by Stephen Eng. And then I want to talk a little bit about Surfebruary before we close up. So Stephen, and it's a little bit of a big comment, so it's going to block us out a bit. I apologize. But Stephen is also from, part of the Asian culture. And so what he's sharing here about love, the way it's expressed in the Asian culture, is a lot of the ways that you said that it is. And I know this because my father's, Cantonese Chinese. And so that side of the family, they're like that. And so the clash was very odd for me because my mom's more of the Western side of the family. I want to say that I really liked it when your son did open up and did say, I love you to you, even though it took you by surprise. You didn't just brush it aside. You actually acknowledged, told him how much it meant to you, and asked if you could continue doing it. And I think that is how, not to say right or wrong, but how we can choose to help establish new traditions in this life that we have, so that as we leave our legacy, those traditions continue and move forward. So that's another wonderful thing about expressing your story. I do want to share a couple of the comments with you because I know you were busy, and I want you to know that people are out there and people are dropping comments. Please go back and look at them because people are touched by your story. So I have no idea how we're only 11 minutes, Timothy. I have no idea. I'm going to run this video, guys. Timothy is surfing every single day this month. I have no idea how he can have the energy to do this and get on with life. But he is. And so he is raising funds along with his team to raise, to spread awareness for cancer and to work on a cure. So I'm going to run this clip. Please enjoy it, because if you think we're talking about the bravery on this guy, you're going to see it and you're going to decide for yourself. He is also a food connoisseur, in my opinion. I cannot look at pictures when I'm hungry. That is a serious problem for me. And he is also hilarious. Like he says, he's a small guy, and he will always say he's very, very small, Vely, which I just can't stop laughing. But you know what? Great things come in small packages. So let's go ahead and check this out. Oh my goodness! I hope
Wow.
I hope you enjoyed that.
I did. You know what? One of my great connections on LinkedIn is Mona Ahmed, and she pointed out to me that I have self-deprecating humor, which means I poke fun at myself for to make myself not so serious, not so important, and I love doing that. I love goofing. I love showing that we're not perfect. I can show some great things where I succeed. I can share failures, and to me, that sharing failures just means, I can identify. To others, I'm hoping it's saying, I identify with that. Yeah, I stuffed up too. Good on him for doing that, and then for you sharing those photos with me with such tall people.
Love them.
I love it. It's just terrific. So I turned being small as a negative into a superpower. Okay, so we can change our story, we can change our tune, we can turn whatever it is negative into something positive. And so I make myself known to people that I am small, and I actually am small. I think there's only one or two LinkedIn connections that are actually smaller than me. So I never reveal how tall I am, but I'm making fun of it. Okay, and so it's like, if I can put a smile on your face, then I'm doing my job, because that's what I want to do. I want you to feel, I want you to feel better about yourself by laughing, not so much at me, but laughing with me. Like
Exactly.
me seeing the funny side of things. Okay, because laughter is some of the best medicine. So if I can make people laugh with circumstances, everyday circumstances that occur, and you feel better about yourself, to my misdemeanor or misadventure, whatever it is, then I'm happy that you're smiling.
Good. I have one more thing for you before we sign off, other than to say to you, thank you so very much for taking the time again with us today. You shared a lot about your life. And I understand when you say that you read the chapter back today, and so much of what you are living in the present is who you were then. And it just shows you that the values that you held tight to continue to be the type of person that your values are based on today. So I am going to share in the ticker running along the bottom, folks. You will see where you could purchase a copy of A Note to My Family. Timothy's story will be in there, as long as that of 20 other writers, including myself. And I would like to, on behalf of Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing House, let you know that we have reduced the price of the book from $12.99 to $9.99 for the entire month of February. All the royalties for the copies of this book that are purchased will be donated to Timothy's Surfebruary. So please go out and buy a copy of the book, A Note to My Family. I Am Your Legacy. It will be on special for the entire month of February for $9.99. The royalties on each book are going to go to Timothy's Surfebruary fundraiser to raise awareness for cancer. And I lost one of my very best friends to it. So this is something that is also very near and dear to my heart. So
can I just say one thing, okay? On the subject of cancer, okay? If something is bothering you health-wise, please go and get yourself checked out. Go and see a medical practitioner. Don't think, oh, it'll be okay, okay? Because it could be something serious. And if it's caught early, it can be treated early. And if it's treated early, you have a much better chance of surviving, okay? Because cancer kills, okay? So please look after your health. We have one life, and I've, although I've written in this book that I've been hit by a car once, I've actually been hit by a car twice, okay? The other time when I was 38 years old, actually going to university. I won't go into details, but I'm one of the most luckiest people in this world to have survived being hit by a car twice. Okay, and when you have a near-death experience, it's people like me that have had near-death experiences that really value and appreciate the life that we have. Okay, we have one life, so make it count. Okay, become a published author. Okay, and look after your health.
No, I thank you for saying that, because life gets hectic and oftentimes our health is what we shelve. And it's very easy to say this little ache, this little pain, this little feeling, it's going to go away. And if we aren't proactive about it, we do not know what can be helped in advance of something becoming disastrous. So thank you for that. I do want you to know that you are getting wonderful comments out there. Timothy, you've done an absolutely wonderful job reading here tonight, letting our audience know all about you and about what it would be like to get published. And of course, how important it is that kindness costs nothing. Bring a smile to someone. You do not know what's happening to people behind closed doors. And be grateful for what you have. And if you have some to spare, please go ahead and consider contributing. Perhaps buy a copy of A Note to My Family, so that royalties for the month of February can go towards Timothy's fundraiser. Timothy, I'm going to bring you on stage, and I'm going to see you in just a couple of minutes.
Okay.
All right, we're 2 minutes to the hour. Thank you for joining us. My name is Nick. I am the founder of Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing House. You can scan the QR code on screen. That would take you to my LinkedIn business page. Please reach out to me in DM if you have any questions. I am always happy to answer them. I can help explain the difference between self-publishing, working with a hybrid publisher such as myself, or traditional publishing if you are considering writing a book. The best way to make a decision is to have the information, and I am here to give you that information. Last but not least, I did share a post recently that I have 2 spots left this year. Getting Brilliant Writers is booked to publish one book every single month this year. We have 2 spots left, and we are offering a special for $1,995 to publish a book with us. With that, you will get your full round of cover design, editing, formatting, your ISBNs included for copyright to you, 4 weeks of promotion. So please go ahead and reach out if you would like to take the opportunity to take advantage of that offer. So have a wonderful night, everyone. And with that, we are going to sign off.